Are there really any perfect games, or is perfection just in the eye of the player? If we're being objective, the answer is probably no. No matter how good a game is, there's almost always something that could be better. And that's not just with the benefit of hindsight. Even when playing a game in the moment, you can usually find minor flaws or plot holes. But then again, nobody plays, or at least nobody should play games purely through an objective lens. When we put aside the cold objectivity of reviews and ratings, it's always worth remembering that gaming is ultimately a hobby, an escape from reality. And when we leave behind that supposedly unbiased lens and embrace our personal preferences, nostalgia, and fondness for certain genres, I'd say that yes, many games can indeed feel perfect. The real question then is, what are your perfect games? For me, some of my earliest gaming memories come from the 8-bit and 16-bit eras, particularly with consoles like NES, SNES, and Mega Drive. And of course, some of my personal perfect games from back then are the universally acclaimed usual suspects, Mario Kart, The Legend of Zelda, and Sonic. But others, at least from the perspective of critics and review scores, wouldn't even come close to such praise. Games like 1942, International Superstar Soccer, or Streets of Rage wouldn't be anywhere near most lists of perfect games. And yet, I can still boot them up today and lose track of time for hours. What makes these games so special isn't just critical acclaim, it's the personal experience. Think about the first time you beat your dad or older brother in FIFA 04, or when you finally outscored your friends in Tony Hawk's. Those memories stick with you. Even frustrating parts like a particularly difficult boss fight or a level that took you way too many tries can make a game more special. The struggle turns into a memory, and suddenly what some call flaws feel more like defining moments. Or perhaps it's a combination of soundtrack and aesthetics aligning perfectly with your personal taste, creating an experience that's uniquely satisfying for you. Moving forward a bit, my list again includes some objectively popular games, those that easily fit on typical highest rated games lists, such as Halo, Gran Turismo 4, and Metal Gear Solid. But beyond those obvious picks, I'll always defend games like FIFA Street, Need for Speed Carbon, or Kane and Lynch. And jumping even further ahead, I think Assassin's Creed Origins or The Crew Motorfast deserve way more respect than they usually get. At the same time, I totally respect games like Minecraft, Fortnite, or The Last of Us. Objectively, I get why people love them, but for me they just don't click. They're not as good as they're cracked up to be. And that's the beauty of gaming, our experiences shape our preferences. But in an era where objectivity is often valued above all else, it's worth asking, does it really matter all that much? And before you rush to the comments to disagree and argue that we should always be as objective as possible, let me remind you of something very important. Games, above all, are meant to be played and enjoyed. And I think it's really important to avoid extremes. Whether it's toxic positivity where everything is great, or relentless negativity where nothing is ever good enough. It's going to be hard to enjoy any game if your opinion of it is shaped strictly by objectivity. If you're placing more value on review scores, graphics, and technical specs than on your own enjoyment, you're missing the point. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for doing your research before buying any game so we don't end up wasting money on something disappointing. But if you never let yourself truly enjoy a game, or a movie, or a song, or anything else in a completely personal and subjective way, you might struggle to find what really resonates with you. You might not even know what your taste really is. To use a famous Chinese saying, it doesn't matter if a cat is black or white as long as it catches mice. The same logic can be applied to games. If you had a lot of fun with game A or B, it doesn't matter if it lacks ray tracing, if it's in 2D, or if it will never make it onto a top 100 greatest games of all time list. In an era where influencers, algorithms, and Metacritic scores seem to dictate which games we're supposed to like, it's essential to remember that, above all else, games should be fun for you. So how do you figure out which games are your perfect games beyond just nostalgia? Pay attention to the ones you keep coming back to even years later. The ones where you know every detail, yet still feel the urge to play just one more time. The games you instantly recommend when someone asks for suggestions. And especially the ones you instinctively defend whenever someone criticizes them. That gut reaction is a sign the game means something more to you, something beyond review scores, sales, or accolades. Once you recognize which games truly resonate with you, you start noticing patterns. Maybe you value immersive storytelling over cutting-edge graphics, or maybe tight gameplay matters more to you than massive open worlds. And that kind of self-awareness, it completely changes how you approach the games you play. Instead of chasing the best or most popular ones, you focus on games that actually interest you in a personal and subjective way. You build a collection of experiences that matter to you. This self-awareness doesn't just save you time and money, it improves your connection to gaming and makes it harder to feel like there's nothing to play. What really makes gaming so special is its ability to create personal connections that mean something unique to each and every player. It's not just about universal acclaim or historical significance, it's about what resonates with you. What makes your opinion unique is precisely that. It's yours. So embrace your personal bias, celebrate your nostalgia, and proudly maintain your own list of perfect games, regardless of what critics or others might think. Of course, the objective debate about the best games of all time will always be fascinating, and we absolutely can and should celebrate games that were influential and historically significant. But video games go far beyond just that. In an era dominated by extreme opinions, shaped by influencers, algorithms, artificial intelligence, or even political viewpoints, your personal taste matters more than ever. So let me ask you again, what are your perfect games? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many awards a game won or if everyone else loved it. What truly matters is how it made you feel, and no one can ever take that away. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and make sure to drop a like. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.